Welcome to Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding live stream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. I'm your host, Stephen Shaw, but you may know me as @Shashaw.
And I'm your invisible host, David Khourshid, also known as @DavidKPNO.
Wait, who said that? Together we are coding compadres, animation amigos, Boolean buddies, and keyframe companions.
Yeah, we'll be creating an animation, a dynamic animation from scratch live using HTML, CSS, and a little bit of JavaScript, maybe?
Tiny baby bit, yeah. And this show is made possible by your support. You can pledge at patreon.com/keyframers or hit the like and subscribe buttons around the videos and streams. And additional links are available below.
And please talk to us. Reach out to us in the chat or in the YouTube comments, and we're going to answer any questions that you may have.
That's right. So David, where or when are you? I guess might be a better question.
Okay, so this week I am in Budapest, actually.
Oh, fancy. What are you doing out there?
Budapest, another conference. And this is the, what's it called? It's called CraftConf.
CraftConf. Like craft CMS or just like the craft of doing
just
things?
Craft. And it's actually a whole ton of around different areas in tech all joining in this conference. So I've never been. Should be exciting.
That's cool. What are you speaking on?
Same thing I always speak on: state machines, state charts, all of the other good stuff that could improve the way that you manage the state in your applications.
You know, stick with what works. I'm fine with that. Well, cool. Well, what time is it for you there?
It's 11:10 p.m.
Not bad.
So, not that bad.
Yeah. Hey, good. We've got some people in the chat with us. Ad says good morning. So yeah, we're across all the time zones here.
Yeah.
Nice spectrum. Well, shall we get into it?
Sure.
All right. Today's animation, Mona Microsoft AI 3D blocks. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name there, but an amazing little animation here. The link is available in the chat and down below. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I think for today we're mainly going to focus on this kind of tilting hover aspect of it. But depending on how time goes, we'll see about some of the 3D kind of cube animations, at least in part. Yeah. Let's break it down a little bit here. Just looking at it in slow-mo. So whenever you hover over an edge, it kind of tilts towards that corner in a 3D way.
Right. But I feel like we could make that a little bit more dynamic, where if you are moving from one edge to the other, it just rotates with your mouse, basically.
Right, a constant movement versus only on hover. Yeah.
Or we could just do edge by edge.
Yeah, doing the edge approach, we could probably get away doing just CSS.
Yeah, that's true.
So we can try that approach first, see how that's feeling, and then go from there. How's that sound? All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's get into it. All right, so the barest amount of setup here. I really need to get into using Emmet more.
Literally nothing. Okay, so let's have like tile times 4, and that should be pretty good.
Yes. And it should be mentioned real quick that David is on sketchy internet, so he might drop out at certain points. We will continue as best we can and get him back on if possible.
That's correct.
Yeah, so I'm going to update that to tiles. That's fine.
All right, so our app, actually the body, let's just make this like a nice black background color, and then each of our tiles, oh wait, why do I have that there? It should be there.
Well, I moved it. So tiles is a container for the actual tiles.
Oh, okay.
And then tile will be each of these. So background.
Gotcha.
Green, let's say.
Green. Why green? Why not?
Sure.
White.
Remove the white.
It's okay.
Up there. Okay. Tile. Grid template columns. Oh, you gotta add display grid. That usually helps.
That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. And yeah, don't worry about the margin for now. And it's because we could use perspective to sort of
drop
move
it back
out.
a bit.
Which reminds me, our common animation properties, we have to add transform style cursor 3D and perspective, like 1,000 pixels maybe.
I usually like to drop that down to at least 800 to give it just a little bit more. Sure. And then we'll also want transform style observe 3D on all of the child elements there. That just tends to make things easier when you're doing 3D transforms.
Right. Yeah, just because it's going to be on the tiles. And so our transform, there's also a perspective origin. And so in this case, we want our perspective origin to be in the center, just because that's where it seems to rotate from. And we could challenge that hypothesis later, but for now, just have that.
Always worth experimenting with. Okay.
See why right now it's off center. So right now, that means if we make this 100% and 100%, then we could our initial transformation. And I'll just put hard code this for now. We could say transform, translate Z, and we could say move it back maybe 100 pixels. So 100 pixels.
I think that needs to be negative. Just gonna remove that.
Yeah. 100 pixels.
Cool.
There we go. And yeah, we could experiment with that. Now let's talk about how we're going to do this with the whole CSS only thing, because obviously hovering only happens to those tiles, and of course each one of these tiles is a child element, so we can't exactly affect the parents from the child elements, so that becomes a little bit tricky.
Yes, we can get around that in a couple of ways. We can have some overlays that are outside of the kind of tiles or before the tiles object, arranged in the same kind of grid, and then when you hover over those, it causes the tilting.
Okay, so in that case, this I wonder if this works, like grid template 1FR 1FR, and then you do /1FR or 1FR.
Yes, and then grid
so
column gap, you can simplify to that.
Wow.
And then we could just say square grid, and do that and that.
I was going to put that in a variable, but
why not use
CSS.
classes here. Yeah. Variables are CSS too, but you know, it's fun. Right.
Yeah, so that's one of the cool things about CSS Grid is where you could reuse the exact same grid, size and everything, between different layers. The problem with that sometimes though is that some of the grid is dependent on the actual constant size of its children, and so you have to just be wary of that.
Yeah, explicit sizing is sometimes needed there. So do you think that is the right approach, having like a having other elements like an overlay, because that will prevent like clickability of the actual
Yeah, that will
tiles.
prevent clickability. So that's why, maybe we shouldn't exactly do a CSS only approach, especially if we want to do this in an actual project.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, I
So
only wear Lacoste. I'm in Hungary right now, so your argument is invalid.
I always try to eat before the stream. So all right. So just gonna do a quick event listener in the JavaScript here. Style.set property mouse x, and probably need our probably need to go back to what we did the other week and get that that proper calculate from the center code. Remember?
Yeah, but we could just figure that out with some simple math. So yeah, so from the center, it's going to be actually, let me just pull up an article that I did here. But basically, you get the X and Y position of the mouse, and then you
You're breaking up a little
you
bit.
determine based on the left, top, width, and height of the element where on the elements that mouse position really is. I don't know. It's a little bit of tricky math. It's not too tricky. It's sort of tricky.
Yeah. Top 0, left 0. Just showing a quick way.
Actually, I think event.client X and event.client Y should be enough. Or maybe
right.
not.
Those values are enough, but the way that we do the calculation, we have to add the VW and the VH in there. I just forget the exact order of it, so I was just gonna copy that
Gotcha.
floppy. All right. Let's see. Just doing a quick example of how these values will be used. So we'll do calc var 1 pixel times that pixel times that, and now we can see we've got our little target here. So that's great. We'll also want to translate -50%, 50% to get it back in the actual center of that.
Nice.
So that'll just be a helpful little debugger. Make sure our values are all there. All right. So let's say right here around line 50, we'll do tiles transform. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna do perspective? Actually, we could do the perspective origin instead of.
If you want to, sure.
Instead of the rotation, because we'd need to calculate out that the the rotation based on the X and Y, which I don't know that would work very well, or be very straightforward. Let's see. Yeah.
Wait, so you're saying just to manipulate the perspective and not the rotation?
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay.
Just real quick, perspective origin for tiles. We'll actually do this, and calculate this. I'm gonna look up the. Oops. Look up last episodes real quick, or the mask episode rather. Circular mask transition. Goodness, where is that? There we are. All right. So I'm gonna be pulling a little bit from this fella.
Oh, let's make sure to do no pointer events on the mouse, or.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's worth doing. Okay, cool. That's frozen now. So that's fun. Yeah. That's what you like to see. All right, Chrome. Just tried to send you full screen. Don't have to freeze up on me. It's still rendering everything. I just can't use my mouse, which is super fun. Come here. Come on, buddy. Chrome? Hey there. That's cool. That's neat. Well, I cannot interact with Chrome. So
Interesting.
It's fun. Yeah, let's see. See if there's anything I can do here.
What's going on?
Chrome is just not accepting my user input. I can see that it's still updating and doing things. It's just refusing to actually listen to me, which is cool. All right. I guess I'm gonna have to restart Chrome here. Let's see. Oh, that's not what I want. All right. Let's see how well force quitting goes. All right. To that lovely desktop. And let's see how many things freak out. Reload. Hey, restore pages. Yes, please. I guess. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I like that music. All right. Let's get back into it. Right.
Oh, fun.
Fun.
Always an adventure.
Yeah, it's live. Anything can happen. All right, so let's go back here, and yeah, that's what we want. All right, so this is from a past episode. I'm gonna do that here, and then let's see. Do we need? Let's see if that's. Okay, perspective does not.
Well,
seem to
something's
be,
tilting.
Oh, it's because that needs to be on app. Let's see. doesn't seem to be properly. Let's see. Okay, it seems to be. Let's get a little more extreme with our perspective here. There is a gigantic storm outside as well, so hopefully that doesn't kill the stream. Okay, you're doing just some manual calculations.
No, I'll show you what I'm doing eventually.
Get stream back up here.
Is that thunder right here?
Yes, there's a. See you, Lacoste. Sleep well. Yeah, there's a big storm out there. So
nice.
Yeah, that's fun. All right, so let me see. What are you doing here? Are you doing the actual like CX and CY kind of values?
Oh no, not yet. In fact, we should probably do that. But you're talking about the rotation values?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because perspective does not seem to be working, and I'm not positive why that is. Let's see. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So,
I can try something else real quick. Let's see.
Let's do doc element equals document dot documents element, which is just the HTML thing, and then we could get the width and height width. Oops. Find height. We could get that from the document element, and so we're going to be using the width and the height and the height to measure the rotation, because I think that might be a better solution than playing around with
yeah. Is there any reason you're not using just like the window width and height?
Yeah. Yeah. And let's see, we have X, Y, and then let's do rotx, or sorry, let's rotx equals, so this is going to be the Y position, not the X position, divided by the client's height, and then times, sorry, -50, because it's going to be times -50 plus 25. So the the fun part about this is that you're basically taking whatever the client height is, whatever the Y position is, multiplying it by -50, so that this is essentially a number from 0 to 1. You multiply by -50, and you're basically going to be getting a number between -25 and 25, I believe.
Yes. All right. So
and then this should actually be 50. It's weird how this works, but try that.
All right. So I'm trying to plug these values in here.
And then this should be -25.
Let's see, and then rotate Y. Do that 1 degree times that and that.
And so that's going to be degrees. And so
right, translate.
Whoa.
Pixels.
Oh god.
Yeah, I'm getting some that's kind of fun, you know?
It's fun.
let's update that to the proper values here.
Correct.
Okay,
but,
so it's currently the opposite that we want. We could do that in the JavaScript, or
Wait a minute.
just change
-1
and -1. That way we're getting
transform rotate X, translate C, rotate X.
Yeah,
rotate
it's
Y.
working. It's working over here. Is that what you were thinking?
Oh yeah, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so that's pretty
There
fun.
we
See,
go.
so when you're directly in the center, there's basically no rotation, and then as you ease out towards the edges here, you get a nice tilt there. All right, and so 50 is the number of degrees. Well, 25 is the total range from positive 25 to negative 25. Is that correct?
Yeah, and we can inspect that as well.
Yeah,
The inspector, or we could even
try bumping that down just a little bit. A little more subtle, and then I do need to let's kill that transform.
And you could even lessen that effect just by
adjusting the perspective. I bumped up the or bumped down the perspective. That, yeah, there we go. That's feeling better. And tile, slate Z. Okay. Yeah, feeling pretty good. Right.
Cool. Now let's see. In each of these tiles, we have some text. So like awake, listening, thinking,
Eating,
playing music. Sure. Eating. That's basically my morning right there.
Yeah, so Steve G in the chat, could you switch it so the number in the var is between -1 and 1 and the degrees set in CSS? Yeah, that's the better approach there. Would it?
All
so
right.
would this be negative? So this would be 1 plus.
Well,
2 plus 1.
No, well, this fraction is already going to get you your your yeah, well, whether it's -1 or 1. Oh, but yeah, you're right. So let's see. This,
yeah,
basically you have to
that's working.
Math works out.
So this would be 20 degrees, and that lessens. Yeah. So there we go. That's the approach. Nope. That is. Yeah, because basically you're getting the position from 0 to 1 with this segment right here.
Yeah.
And so you multiply that by 2 to get it to go from 0 to 2, and then you subtract 1 in this instance, or add 1 since it's negative here, so that the full range goes from negative 1 to 1.
Grid. Column. 1, 2, 3. Grid row. 3. Cool. So we have our header over there. Font size max, it should probably be like 5e max. Ooh, too big. All right, cool.
Right.
Up, no, still too big. All right, it's looking good so far.
And then how do you want to do the numbers? Should that be a counter or just inline it?
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is from 1 through 4, and then we could just say, actually, I could put this, just use a nice old SAS loop over there.
What are you doing the SAS loop for?
Just so that we could do it via SAS. I mean, we don't necessarily need to. We could definitely do it right in the HTML we wanted, but.
Question in the chat: why do you prefer Vmax for font size over m/rem? It's really just a matter of sizing things to the viewport right now, because we're doing just full screen demos, so we want the font size to be something relative to the actual screen size there.
Exactly.
Wouldn't that just be?
Oh.
I don't know if
Yeah. There you go. And then this could actually be in the same grid column and grid row, which I guess we could use grid area for that, but I admittedly forgot. So yeah. Then this font size, now we could have this be like 10 Vmax, opacity like yeah, that's fine, like 0.5 or lower. It's fine too. Font weight bold. Cool, just like that.
All right. Do you think I can do a correct radial gradient without looking up the syntax? Hey! It's at least... yeah, that works, sure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there we go. This could be a little bit more subtle. 6. It's a little better. And center. Yeah, there we go. It's pretty cool. Yeah, in the chat asking if you could use CSS counter for that instead of a for loop. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you totally can. You know, you probably should use that.
That's what I said. You're just listening because
I
it's
know,
someone in the chat.
I know. I just
David.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's cool. It's cool.
Sue me.
Well, yeah, that's pending. Okay, let's see.
Oh gosh.
We don't have a link to the live pin, as that's just not feasible at this point. But the code will be available after.
Right. You'll get it. Don't worry. You'll get it. Okay. And so now here we could just say top and whatever that was, 2 Vmax. Yeah, 4 max. Yeah, close enough.
What are you doing?
Let's see. X equals.
Let's do
So,
the title
yeah.
hover state separately.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're doing the transitions within the tiles.
Yeah, that's probably the right spot for it.
Yeah. Good. I'm getting a little surprised in the JavaScript. I'll talk about when I'm done.
Don't like that.
Yeah.
Transition transform.
No,
Let's do 0.4 seconds.
it'll be fun. Don't worry.
Just for fun. And then what we'll do here. It's too light. Okay, that feels pretty good. And we'll do hover here. Color green. Is there a reason you did the grayscale versus just like color change?
Yeah, just so that they're uniformly animated in and out when they have different colors.
See.
Yes. And it's pretty grayscale in the original animation as well.
Yeah. Alright, so what's happening in the... You doing some lerping?
I'm doing some LERPing. Yep.
Alright. Well, I'll keep working on the tile hover. So we'll do before... Scale.
The white dot might not work temporarily.
That's cool.
But this is a really fun technique to do. Yes. Oh, shoot. It almost worked.
Whoa. Not quite.
Don't worry about it. It was close. And then it just runs away.
Come back here. Ah. Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Not really. Huh. There we go. Oh, wow.
It's lerping a little better. A little lerpier. It's funny that it goes.
Yeah, the rotation isn't as lerpy though, for whatever reason. Not sure why. That's okay. We could adjust values. Oh, I know why.
Okay,
Because
nice.
when you're using lerp, you're not using the actual x and y values anymore. Now you're using these sense of current x and current y values, and so I have to.
Those need to be updated.
Oh, sorry, this is correct.
Yeah, that needs to be y.
All right.
There we go. Wow, that's very lerpy.
Well, that's cool. CodePen got me a little. Your internet connection is unstable. Sort of message.
To be faster. Yeah. Cool, that's cool. Let's see. X, 0,
Oh, this is fun.
0. Yeah. It's feeling nice. Okay.
So fun discovery when you actually play the movie on the Dribble.
Yeah,
It
there's audio,
it plays.
which I didn't know was a thing.
Yeah, you could have audio on Dribble now. Like, what will they think of next?
Hopefully not playable audio on Dribble. Let's see, tile. So that can actually be on the hover there. So let's do that again as 555, and then move down here. Background color, our color. Fall back to green. But what's that? Are you giving me an error somewhere?
I shouldn't be.
No, that was me. I'll own that one.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. It's all on you.
Where are you setting the color? Oh, you're setting the color up there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's totally valid.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Nice. Nice. All right, so let me do that header.
Let's see, more colors. And oh, man. It's an interesting song though. It's haters gonna say it's fake when you play the video. That's what it says. Cool.
It's pretty accurate, right?
Sort of. The numbers are going all over the place though, or at least in my.
Yeah, I mean the numbers are
screen.
supposed to. They're supposed to move like that, but they might be moving a little bit.
Yeah, but not off screen.
Well, so it's apparently viewport relative, how they are actually moving. Let's see, align self. Yeah, that should help. How's that? Pretty cool. Yeah, thought so. It's going pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's see any. What other little details from this are you?
Yeah, we have a sorry. Is it just my screen, or is there a glow
On
that you
the
added?
I did not add a glow. I added that background gradient.
Oh, okay. So there was a slight glow in the animation.
Slight glow, huh? Let's see. Let's see. This.
Playing around with the size.
So I was trying to get it just aspect ratioed a little bit better. Why is that? You playing in the chat? Are you planning on making
So
the Mona brain cloud thing too? Oh,
the brain
another thing
cloud
by that.
thing. What's the Mona brain cloud thing?
I don't know. Shoot us the dribble link. I assume it's something that the same creator did.
Yeah, the first thing I thought of when I thought that was one of those amazing like CSS paintings of that Renaissance.
Yeah.
And oh, okay. So the 3D animated sphere of blocks. So short answer is yes, but not today.
Oh, the
I
brain
think
cloud.
that's yeah. So that we're gonna we're gonna get into in the next episode.
You think so?
Maybe. Or, just finish it up. It's definitely a bigger project, so maybe not in this episode. Sorry, still have a little bit of a cough. or or the next episode, but sometime soon.
Yeah, I think this is a good good point for it. Is there any other little things like there's that line in there?
Yeah, I'll add that real quick.
Okay. Other than that, this is feeling pretty close. I don't understand why the ratio is not working there. The font does change color. There, that's, it's fine. Because it's in display grid and it's set to span
right.
a full column. If we change that down to grid column 2, that doesn't really do it. I think because it's a grid item, I don't think it can be width auto like that.
That's okay. I have other plans.
I bet you do.
There we go. Oh, darn it. White. Okay, so Redback Thompson also mentions that the font changes color.
Yeah, I'm working on that. And that line disappears. How are you doing the line?
I'm just I have an after
Oh, the
pseudo
after.
element.
Okay. So header after transform scale x. Do this transform origin 0 transition inherit. %. I don't. Let's see. Let's do display flex. Left auto. Line items. Center. Oh no, it's not what I want. Is it? No, it's not. I mean, I guess that works, but that's throwing off the there. Display block.
You're making the line smaller?
Just sizing it properly so that now it just kind of takes up the rest of the space the text is not.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Good, pretty good. The sizing of it, I'm just does not. When you get a moment, let me know. And
The sizing. What's happening?
so if you look around line 38 or 35 in the CSS. So I'm trying to just give it a like 16 by 9 kind of arrangement, but is there a reason that is throwing it off?
I mean, it looks like a square to me.
Right, but resize your window a bit and see how it.
Oh wow. Weird.
Right.
I think
So
it's has to do with the grid template stuff.
no. Um, let's see. Let's just do background red real quick so we can see. Whoa. Why are the elements overflowing it so badly?
Oh gosh. Yeah. Do we um the grid template 50 no, that shouldn't be doing anything.
Okay, we've got box sizing border box, so that's correct. The app
Mm-hmm.
is full screen.
So I feel like these tiles are naturally taking up more space than they should.
Right. That's what I'm not clear on. Is it because of the let me see. Let's just do display none here real quick. Yeah, so that's part of it.
Oh yeah.
The the letter sizing. Hey, thanks for following.
Okay, so it's the before, and so we should really position absolute that before.
I guess. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But it's easy enough to do. Okay, so position absolute, bottom 0, right 0. Hey, thanks for following as well. Got some following additions. That's great. Okay, right 0. Width 50%. Like that. I'm gonna move this all up a bit here. And what's the counter syntax? I always forget that.
Yeah, I always forget it too. It's one of those things where if you don't use it, you lose it, really.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So, oh, there's my mouse. There we are. All right, so let's do the counter here. Counter reset. Tile counter. Tile. Tile after. Nope, that's before. Tile before. Before. Counter. Tile counter. That, remove that. And then take off all this nth child business. Okay. But what is the style? Counter style. Counter style. Prefix. Counter style.
Sorry about that.
Oh, what? That's crazy. Yeah, just reading some syntax write-ups. That's pretty wild. I have not seen this counter style business before, but it doesn't look like that is well supported, and we only have 4 of them anyway, so let's just do 0 counter. There we go. All right, so now our sizing should be correct. Jeez. But we need to change this to vmin. Where did you use this? Here it is. Min. Okay, that works. And we got our native CSS counter in there. How about that? Pretty cool. Are you still with me? Did you disappear?
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
Ah, that's fine.
Sorry about that.
Just making sure. All right. Counter decimal leading 0 adds the 0. Yeah, sometimes that works. Yeah, okay. Sure. Not sure what the browser support is there on those, but
On what? Exactly.
Line 111 in the CSS.
Hmm.
Okay. That centered. Auto.
Oh, this color thing will be fun. Let's see. Tile. With this bad boy. And then man, I wish we had color functions in CSS.
Yeah, that would be nice. Oh, are you actually changing the text color?
Yeah, but
You possibly
it's
with the blend mode it would work, but you could probably get the same kind of
yeah.
effect with just with black in a blend mode.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. You know what? We'll do that. In fact, we could do this. Ah. 3.7 there. It's cheap, it's easy, works.
Well, we've got the opacity down there, so it doesn't need
Oh,
that.
more opacity. You can never have enough opacity.
Can't you? Okay. How you feeling? Feeling pretty good?
Feeling good.
All
I
right.
feel like we could start talking about this.
You wanna keyflect a little bit?
Yeah. Let's keyflect.
Right.
There we go.
Well, now is the portion of the show known as Keyflections. A quick review of the techniques used to build this animation. This is a great starting off point if you're short on time and just kind of want to see some of the main techniques we used when you're watching this playback video. If you have any questions as you're watching us live, ask us in the chat. We'll be happy to answer, or leave a comment and we'll address that as well.
Yeah, and if you've enjoyed watching us so far or listening to Invisible Me, then you can follow and subscribe here on Twitch or YouTube, or pledge at patreon.com/keyframers. And the links are below.
Right. Okay, so where is our original animation? All right, Mona, Microsoft AI 3D blocks. So this cool just 3D hover transition. Not lots of nice stuff going on here. We implemented this with a little bit of JavaScript, a lot of CSS, and then a smidge of HTML here. All right, so let's see what to cover first. So 3D transforms. That is thanks to. Hey, thanks for following. The 3D transform is thanks to this transform style preserve 3D on our app container. This parent here. And then the perspective is what actually gives it the 3D perspective, like what makes things that are closer to the camera appear closer and further away, all that. And then this aggressive all children selector what's the proper name for the asterisk?
The life, universe, and everything selector. I don't know.
Yes, that selector applies transform style preserve 3D to everything inside of it because that is needed for the 3D transforms to apply to the children. If we take that off, we actually might be okay in this instance. Yeah. At the very least, we could just do the direct child. That seems to work. All right, and then our tiles are translated a little bit, but the actual rotation happens down here. So tiles, we've got translate Z to move it back just a little bit. Since we're going to be tilting it around, we want to give it a little more space to tilt. And then rotation X, we're doing negative 15 degrees times this variable. Where are these variables coming from, David?
So those variables are coming, they're coming from an update function in the JavaScript. Basically, we're using the LERP technique, and we could do a whole episode on the LERP technique. And in fact, we have. I don't think we've ever done it manually like this. This is how you would do it if you're just, I don't know, doing it. Like we've gone through it before using RxJS, but this is sort of a more bare bones, dirty, quick and easy way of doing it. But I highly recommend you read this post on animation LERPing by Rachel Smith, very talented developer.
Pop quiz. Who knows what LERP stands for? Do you know, David?
Oh, not even I know that. Just kidding. It's a linear interpolation, and so all that means, it's a fancy way of saying that if you want to go from 0 to 1, you could go through it in fractions. So let's say you go by half. You go 0, 0 0.5, 0 0.75, 0 0.875, 0 0.925, etc., and you get closer and closer to 1. And it's a very easy way to have that effect of slowly getting from point A to point B in a very smooth way. And it's actually pretty straightforward to implement too.
Right.
Play around with these numbers.
If you're watching my cursor here, you can see how my mouse is moving normal speed, but the little dot following it is kind of trailing behind. That's thanks to LERPing. It's smoothing out the values so that it's not updating instantly with the mouse position. And that's
right.
That's this math right here.
Mm-hmm.
If we just did X and Y,
and so
you'd see the difference there. Snap, snap, snap,
yeah,
snap.
so it's going to be
way too fast.
It's going to be very stiff, which is not exactly what we want.
Santiago McRib in the chat. Pretty sure it's live executed roleplay. I believe you're thinking of LARPing, which is a very different, very different thing.
Now, these are numbers role playing as physics animations, which they do pretty well.
Not the same. So yes, we've got those values based on the mouse position in the body. So whenever the mouse moves around, it's updating these X and Y variables that are being constantly updated with this update function every animation frame to give us that LERP smoothing effect. And then the rotation X and rotation Y are based on the window width and height, giving us a range from -1 to 1 that we can use for that actual rotation. Hey, thanks for cheering for us. All right. And so we're also using those mouse values for the little mouser overlay here, which is cool.
Yeah. Another thing I want to explain here, and Redback Thompson just brought up the question, so I thought I'd touch on it. could you have used a hover instead of the over property?
Yes.
There's an over property, and that shows like you could see the white ball becoming bigger as you hover over each of the tiles. And so hover pertains to the direct child, but there's no way to say there's something hovered. Well, actually, there is.
Is there?
No,
Is there?
there's not. No, there's basically a way to propagate that to the parent and share the fact that something is hovered over with arbitrary elements using CSS variables. So that's why we had that manual where we're setting basically a flag saying, hey, we're hovering over a tile, so do something.
And before, let's see. What's that?
And there's no way to say that we've hovered out.
Oh, just you know what? I'm gotta be in here since it's position fixed. Jason shot. Whoa, that's yeah. All right, yeah. Over's fine.
We can't set global CSS variables within CSS.
Yeah. So if it's a sibling of the other elements, you can do that. I was messing around with that real quick, but that's not a great setup because this needs to be position fixed, and this is also doing some 3D rotating, which will mess with position fixed and cause lots of issues. So yeah, over is fine for now. Yeah, so anytime it's over, you get 1 as the value. Anytime it's mouse out, you get 0. Great.
Yeah. Now, there's other tiny animation effects in here, such as the header and the numbers transforming, as well as the colors.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll talk too much about those just because those are pretty straightforward transitions, and you could imagine how else you might want to transition them, depending on what your project needs. But in this case, we're using transform.
Yeah. So just real quick on those to show it. So the radial gradient is actually a background image that's over the color. So that's what gives that nice kind of flare at the top of it. And then we're changing the background color on hover. So if we go down here to the hover, it's using this color variable that's set in the style for each one. That's what gives them all a unique look. And yeah, doing a little bit of transforms on the inside elements. So the header is that text there. It translates up and to the right. And then because it's sized with grid, this negative 100% is actually moving it up properly. And then the line is just that after, and that's scaling down. So that happens. Transform origin, yeah. Transform origin. This should actually be right. That's fine. Yeah, sure. That's fine. And then, yeah, our numbers are these before elements, and we're using CSS counters to get that proper number in there based on the source order. And those are just scaling and moving a little bit with transform. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So lots of fun little details in this one.
Yeah, and maybe we'll come back and tackle the
Spheres,
cubes
the
and that kind of
circles, thing. Square spheres.
Yeah. There's a lot going on with that, so might save that for another time. But shall we bring it to a close here, David?
Let's bring it to a close.
Let you get some sleep.
Oh yeah.
Well, you have been watching Keyframers. If you've enjoyed this episode and would like to see more from David and I, and would like to eventually see David's face, I think it's been a few episodes, Then there are many ways you can support us. Primary way being Patreon, P-A-T, however you spell Patreon, .com/keyframers. That helps us out each month and helps us to have all the equipment and things we need to get these streams happening. You can also like and subscribe at youtube.com/keyframers, where we'll have the video for this episode after the stream is up, and sharing across all the social medias. We greatly appreciate that as well.
Yeah, and remember, we do accept submissions for future episodes, so tweet us with any animations that you would like to see made. Ask questions, give us ideas, even talk to us about stuff. We're open to absolutely anything, and also, again, please share this video and demo across your social platforms. Next week, I will be visible. I promise.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Back.
I've missed your face.
It's just, well, it's hard to lug a green screen across the ocean. You know, it's also a little bit expensive.
Yeah, even though they're even though they're invisible, they are actually quite heavy. So
yeah, but invisible.
Right.
But customs doesn't think it's invisible.
Yeah, they still charge you for that weight. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. That's all we have for you today. But until next time, adios, amigos.
Adios.